The station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Straight ahead, New Year's Eve had some rocky moments in New York, moments before the ball dropped. What we're learning about an attack on officers there that ended with a suspect being shot. Plus, new details tonight in the deadly crash near the White House this weekend. The charges a driver is now facing after an attempted traffic stop took a turn for the worse. And looking ahead this week, the new year means new rules in the DMV. A look at what's changing. But first, here's meteorologist Scott Sumner now. Hey, Scott.
Hello there, Annalisa. On the first day of 2023, forecast has been nice. It has been dry, and it has also been sunny quite a bit during the afternoon. Will it last, though, to start a new week in the new year? We'll talk about that coming up.
All right, thanks, Scott. Good evening. Thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 6 on the first day of 2023. I'm Annalisa Gale. New this evening, police have identified the suspect accused of hitting and killing a woman near the White House while trying to escape Secret Service. That crash happened on Friday at 14th Street and New York Avenue around 4:30 p.m. just as Secret Service was attempting to stop 35-year-old Spyro Staphylakos. Police say they were trying to stop him because he had the wrong license plate, but instead of stopping, Staphylakos is accused of taking off with and then hitting two women. One is still in critical condition, and the other victim who died has not been identified. Staphylakos is charged with murder, aggravated assault, and other driving offenses. Well, right now, an investigation continues in New York City where 3 officers were attacked, according to Mayor Eric Adams. It happened on a busy New Year's Eve night for the NYPD. Corinne Dillon from our sister station has the latest.
Police are calling this an unprovoked attack. Less than 2 hours before the ball dropped and just blocks from Times Square, 3 officers assigned to security detail for the event were attacked by a machete-wielding suspect. The violence leading to one of the officers shooting the suspect in return.
And these officers responded in an admirable, professional manner.
The assault happened at West 52nd Street and 8th Avenue around 10 last night. Police say the 19-year-old attacker came up to one cop and hit him with the machete. He then struck 2 more officers in the head.
One officer, an 8-year veteran, suffered a laceration to the head. The second officer, who graduated the police academy on Friday, was also struck in the head, resulting in a skull fracture and large laceration. One of the officers fired their service weapon, striking the subject in the shoulder.
The NYPD has released this photo of the weapon they say was used in the attack. The machete was recovered near the scene. The officers were all taken to the hospital in stable condition, where they were treated for their injuries. The FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force is now investigating alongside the NYPD, though officials note the attack happened outside the area being screened for the Times Square ball drop.
This is very much an ongoing investigation, so our ability to talk about specifics is limited. There is no ongoing threat. We believe this was a sole individual at this time. There's nothing to indicate otherwise.
Police say that 19-year-old suspect was taken to the hospital in stable condition. As for this investigation, it is ongoing, and officials say because this area would have been so busy last night, they are asking anyone who may know anything or who may have seen anything to call Crime Stoppers immediately. Reporting from Midtown, Kieran Dillon, Pix 11 News.
And developing this evening, police are investigating a double homicide in Prince George's County. It happened around 6 a.m. in the 2500 block of Lazy Acres Road in Clinton. That's where police found the 2 who were shot and killed, in addition to another adult and a juvenile who were taken to the hospital with unknown injuries. Right now, police are calling this a domestic-related incident. And a homicide investigation is still underway in Fairfax County. Police say they found a man dead inside following a shooting in the 9500 block of Unity Lane. It was reported just before 8:30 p.m. on Saturday. So far, no arrests have been announced. Well, new today, Brazil's new president has officially been sworn in. Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva will be serving his 3rd term as president after taking over this position. In his first speech, da Silva promised to rebuild the country, fulfilling promises made, such as putting an end to illegal deforestation of the Amazon rainforest. Da Silva won the race against opponent Jair Bolsonaro by less than 2%. Well, talking about bringing in some fresh energy to start off the new year, Freedom Plaza in downtown D.C. was the starting line for the 9th annual Fresh Start 5K run. That's where we find our Stephen Cohen.
It is a D.C. tradition. Brave the winter chill to get your heart pumping, those muscles in shape. Start the year off on the right foot.
Because you want to do something fresh, start your year off good, healthy, so you can keep going for the rest of the year.
Former marathon runner Scott Stone relocated to D.C. from Chicago. The Fresh Start 5K, he says, is the perfect way to launch a New Year's resolution.
It's a good time to get into a good habit of getting out, getting some exercise.
For retired law enforcement officer Kevin Jones, turning out as a volunteer to support Mayor Bowser's Fresh Start 5K is really a matter of civic pride.
Couldn't think of a better day, better place to start the new year off than in my hometown, Washington, D.C.
And maybe the sunny skies, warm temperatures are a good omen for 2023. How many New Year's days here are there when you can be outdoors in shorts and a long-sleeve T-shirt?
Every year I would try to, volunteer to sign up, but the weather would be so bad, it'd be so cold. So I'm like, I can't do it this year, not this year. So I said, yeah, I can do it this year.
A great day to start the new year on this beautiful day in the nation's capital. Reporting from downtown Washington, Stephen Cohen, D.C. News Now.
And coming up tomorrow, Mayor Muriel Bowser will be sworn in for the third time. She made history by becoming only the second mayor to be reelected to 3 consecutive terms and the first woman mayor to do so. Her inauguration ceremony starts at 9:30 a.m. following an interfaith service at 8 a.m. Well, D.C. already has the highest minimum wage in the country, and it is expected to increase again starting today. Katie Reed talked to people who are for that change and some who are still on the fence this evening.
Now, not a state in the country pays a higher minimum wage than the district, and it's keeping its status as the newest pay bump comes on New Year's Day.
I love that the minimum wage is going up in D.C. D.C. is where the money at.
On January 1st, the living wage in the district will rise to $16.50 an hour, and again to $17 in July. The district is the highest paying place in the country, and some workers are happy about that pay bump.
I live in Oxon Hill, but it's like, that's not where the money at. Like minimum wage is over there, what, 13? I think so. Yeah, like 13. And over here it's 17. I work in D.C. before that.
It's very expensive to live in D.C. The cost of living is really high, and rent continues to increase, and it's important that people are paid a livable wage.
Others hope neighboring Maryland and Virginia, whose minimum wages will rise to $13.25 and $12 respectively, will follow suit.
It's not fair that only in D.C. they're going to increase the minimum wage and not in Maryland and Virginia.
But the increase in wages isn't the best news for everyone.
The business is growing. It's growing a bit faster than we even expected. We are looking to now hire more employees, go outside the family.
Now Alexander Howell, who owns Howell's Standard, a honey company, will have to be more selective about his hiring process considering his new budget.
I wouldn't necessarily say hinder, but I will say that it's going to require us to put a lot more thought into it. Not saying that we weren't before, but it's going to require us to put a lot more thought and consideration.
Bryant Jones, who owns BJ's Cookies, thinks the term minimum wage and the expectations that come with it should just go away.
The term minimum wage is a strange term in general just because I think it means that you're going to pay somebody the bare minimum, which they aren't working the bare minimum. You don't want them to do the bare minimum, so you should pay them a living wage first. You want to pay them what's in line with what you would pay yourself.
Now, something for you all to think about. If the minimum wage hikes kept up with productivity, workers in the U.S. should be making at least $26 an hour. That's all according to the Center for Economic Research and Policy. In the studio, Katie Reed, D.C. News Now.
And the minimum wage is also increasing in Virginia starting today, moving from $11 an hour to $12. Well, a new policy is being introduced into Fairfax County schools to establish a uniform 3-strike system. That policy would mandate a school remove students from a classroom if they disrupt the class more than twice. Our Max Marcilla has more on how parents are reacting in Northern Virginia.
I hear the mantras, listen to parents, but as the parent of a high support needs disabled child, I don't think I'm being listened to.
Jennifer Litton-Tidd fears Virginia lawmakers are about to respond to the needs of students with autism in the wrong way. They're considering a policy that could reverse some of the changes Fairfax County made when it settled a lawsuit Litton-Tidd filed. It addressed seclusion and how her son with autism was treated.
You can't change molecules by punishing people.
House Bill 1461 was pre-filed just before Christmas by these two delegates, Bill Wiley, who represents areas in and around Winchester, and Buddy Fowler, whose district includes parts of Spotsylvania County. The bill mandates all school districts in Virginia implement a 3-strike system for nonviolent disruptive behavior, immediate removal for any violent disruptive behavior, and prohibits anyone from holding a teacher liable for taking actions to control a physically disruptive or violently disruptive student.
Anyone who is yet to be diagnosed will not be protected from the punishments in this law.
Although the proposal says it does not apply to students with disabilities because of state and federal guidelines, Lytton Tidd is worried because of how many students don't have a formal diagnosis, especially black students with autism. Studies show their diagnoses are typically delayed by 3 years.
And this law, like so many others, is dehumanizing, will be traumatizing. It punishes children for being autistic, ADHD, neurodivergent, and other mental health conditions.
All right, good afternoon, late afternoon at that, and early evening. I'm meteorologist Scott Sumner. Take a look at what we have here with our satellite radar view. You can see this was the front that moved through last night, brought us some showers before the midnight hour, but they did clear out. And like I said yesterday, we did see the return of some sunshine across the board, and sure enough, that has what's come to fruition. And temperatures have responded with some sunshine. As you see, the highs throughout the afternoon into the middle 60s, a little warmer than some of the forecast models were showing, like 67 at Culpeper and Fredericksburg, 65 at Waldorf, 61 at D.C. I remember I had 59 for a high in D.C. for today yesterday, 59 at Westminster and Hagerstown. So looks like some of the models were underperforming on some of the high temperatures this afternoon, but you're not going to care. That's just a little quibble here there because it was nice outside. And right now you see the numbers into the 40s and 50s. Frederick at 46, D.C. at 57, Annapolis at 48, Lexington Park at 54, and inland temperatures, well, not much different. Woodstock 58, Luray 54, Winchester at 50, and Kaiser coming also in at 54 degrees. So planning out your evening again tonight. Some of you may have off from work tomorrow, so you may want to party again tonight. All right, I don't think that's Annalise or myself, but needless to say, you may want to party tonight. Partly cloudy at 7, 8, and 9 p.m. Temperatures into the 50s and the upper 40s, and overall, a pretty quiet forecast tonight, and really as we go into tomorrow as well, although there'll be a few more clouds around for your Monday. A little bit of rain and warm weather coming in for Wednesday, and a colder end to the weekend into next weekend. We'll break it down and have that 7-day forecast for you coming up.
All right, thanks, Scott. Well, still to come here on DC News Now at 6, a look at how former Pope Benedict XVI is being remembered here in the DMV and around the world now. Plus, new year, new Congress, a look at what new members are hoping to accomplish and what may be standing in their way. We'll be right back.